Each week, my friend Nick Sperdute and I do comedy on some planet or world, and then we come on the show and tell you about our trip and our experience. And where did we go this last week, Nick?
Risa.
We went to Risa.
We were in Risa.
The pleasure planet. And pleasurable it was.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was great.
I had some time.
Yeah,
Some time, as people would say. I was not on, like, it wasn't quite, I wouldn't say Krypton levels.
Right.
But I had some moments.
You had a couple things working against you. First of all,
here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm married.
You're
okay,
See,
I'm a married man.
That's the main thing you had working against you. You went to Risa without your wife while married.
I'm happily married. She couldn't make it.
Yeah. She had that quilting conference.
She's really good.
Uh-huh.
She's actually a judge.
Uh-huh.
But I am not one that likes to do anything behind my significant other's back.
Of course not. And you,
good man.
You guys don't swing either, so there was just nothing going on.
Can you stop talking about that? You've been bringing that up for literally months, and I think it's too much.
I know a guy I met at the post office that just had some interesting theories, and I've offered to put you in contact.
Stop putting pamphlets under my door too.
Okay,
I'm getting over it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So yeah.
All right.
So you're happily married and very monogamous with a capital M, and went to Risa, the pleasure planet, and Megan couldn't join you. And
they just couldn't accept that I wasn't looking for anything.
Yeah,
and it was just nonstop.
But wasn't it at least kind of flattering that, like, whenever you walk down the street, women in bikinis would come up and just, like, straight up offer to make out with you? I really enjoyed that.
At least they understood the word no. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But it was still at the point where I was just tired of talking about it. And then about, I don't know, I'd say 2 days in, I finally found some people who were kind of right up my alley.
Well, but before that, the breaking moment, and I apologize for this. This is
all you.
This was my bad. So Risa's a pretty happy-go-lucky place. Clothing is optional. People tend to be pretty well fit. So it's good if you're looking to have a tryst or maybe 9 to 12 trysts. It's a really good place, and women they were very interested in you, Nick. And one of them came up to me and was like, "Hey, I really like your friend." And I'm like, he's pretty good. And she was like, could you
Is that what you said?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I needed to...
Instead of saying, like, oh, he's married and he's, you were just like, yeah, he's pretty good.
He's okay.
So you were not part of the solution here.
No, I actually was militating against it pretty hard. So she came up and asked me about you, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty good. And she's like, I would love to surprise him by just showing up naked in his bed. And I was like, that seems like a cool deal. Yeah, okay. Let me. I'll let you in. So when that naked woman was in your bed, that was I didn't find her, but I did give her your key, and so and that seems to be what pushed you over the edge. I apologize. I thought it would be flattering to do that.
Well, here's the real case of it. That was Tarful's key.
Oh, really?
That was actually one of the Wookiees' rooms. Yeah.
Oh.
I was mad about it because I kind of figured it out. Yeah, so we swapped rooms, unbeknownst to you, and
okay.
You gave them the wrong key.
Nick, I'm going to say that I made an Excel spreadsheet for a reason, and if you guys had updated that as I'd asked you to do, then
you would have sent a naked woman to my room
exactly.
instead of his. So it's probably for the best that we did it this way.
Yeah,
regardless, I saw
so.
the commotion.
Right.
I saw the commotion, and I thought, this is too much. That was the breaking point, and I just ran into the street, madly ran into the street.
Yeah.
And there were people constantly. It was like a horror movie. I was like watching The Birds. It was everyone. They were just going, well, Nick, what about this, Nick? What about this?
Yeah, it was I got to say, Risa's it's like a horny version of The Purge, which, again, if you're single, is fantastic. Yeah. If you're married, is at the very least frustrating.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so we did, I ran through, and I was like, all right. And then I fell into an alleyway. I kind of slipped into the back alleyway to try to... And I found this, room.
Uh-huh.
The door was kind of cracked. And I was curious. There was a light chatter. And so I just kind of, leaned my head up against the door. And right then, someone opened the door. And I was like, what's going on? and they were like, I was like, sorry, I wasn't meaning to like, me. I was trying to be passive and like let it go.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. Are you single? And I said, oh, this again? Like, I'm so sick of this. And I started to leave. And he goes, no. We are too. And then the door opened and there was all of like 16 to 20, I'd say, of these different people and different species. And they were all there and they were all married.
Gotcha. So they weren't single. They were married and similarly irritated that everybody kept trying to have sex with them.
Exactly. When they said we are too, they meant like we are irritated with all this stuff as well.
Well, man, Nick, good job there. Sounds like you found the most fun part of the Pleasure Planet, a bunch of irritated married people in a back alley. Well done. An angry Branson, Missouri. Everybody else is living at 11 p.m. on a Friday in Vegas, and you are Branson, Missouri with angry dad and angry mom. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So basically, I talked to them and I said, well, you know what? Maybe, me, I tend to just go on rants.
Yeah.
I said, maybe things need to change around here. And they said, what? What do you mean? And I said, I think we need to take this into our own hands. How many of us are there? And they said, well, there's like 20 here, but there are many more out there.
That would be, because I read newspaper reports about this. That would be the monogamous underground.
Well, we prefer MU, but yeah.
Yeah. The monogamous underground, which is now a terrorist organization on Risa.
It's only because we tried to shut down the electrical grid. That's the only reason.
Right, which is important because the electrical grid's also what keeps the weather grid. And I don't know why they bothered doing it on such a weird planet, but Risa without the weather grid, because Risa's a very pleasant, like, balmy, I don't know, I'd say it's like 80 to 90 degrees most of the time. It's always sunny.
Well,
real nice,
yeah,
kind of breezy, but you take that weather grid down and it turns into Seattle real quick.
Yeah, it's all manufactured.
Right.
That's how they get it so nice. It's all manufactured. The whole town is fake. The people are fake. Everything about it's a real fake sort of place. So we said, let's go in there and let's tear them down. So we went and we tried to shut down all the electrical appliances, everything we could find. We tried to just pour water on stuff. That didn't work for a while. And then I was like, all right, I need my buddy Andrew. I need Heaton. He'll back me up on this.
Yep.
And so then I reached out.
You texted me. And I was like, sure, man. You texted me and you said, hey, man, as my friend, I really need your help. Can you meet me at my room in about an hour? And I said, I don't even need to know what this is. Nick, you're one of my best friends. I will absolutely do this. I will be there in an hour. You can count on me.
I think you just said on my way.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that.
Yeah. I got the underlying context, but I feel like you just said like OMW.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was very busy. I was very busy at the time, and
I get it. No, I get it.
And I regret in part that I didn't bother showing up. That was my bad. My bad. But I have a good reason on my part though that I think everybody should be excited about.
So without you, the crux of the plan really fell apart.
Right, because you wanted me to bring that electrical gizmo, the grid ratchet.
From the ship.
Yeah, for the grid ratchet from the ship, and I I didn't do it, so you guys couldn't shut down the grid, but you tried and got arrested.
Yeah, it was the particle gun drill.
Yeah.
And you didn't bring it. It was a gun drill, is what it was. It was a particle gun drill, as everybody knows. Yeah. People know that, right?
Well, yes. Okay. I mean, for any weather grid purpose, you need a particle gun drill.
It's a formidable weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, we were going to do this and we were going to shut it down, but because you didn't come, yes, we got arrested. And then you showed up to bail me out, but not alone.
Right. See, I was about to say, like, does anybody want to know why I didn't turn up with a particle grid gun?
Why don't you enlighten everybody?
Well, I am happy to say that I am in love, and it is with a wonderful woman, and we just hit it off, and I am so happy. And
just tell the people who it is.
It's Chewbacca. It's Chewbacca. So anybody new to the program, a few months ago, Nick and I were on Kashyyyk, the Wookiee homeworld, and Nick saved the lives of 6 different Wookiees, all of whom are now in life debt to him and basically our entourage. And they live with him and his wife and a Gungan in their one-bedroom New York apartment. and or 2-bedroom New York apartment. Anyway, Chewbacca and I, we've always had a really solid rapport. And we have really good, similar interests, which I think is the foundation of a lasting relationship. And
I just want to say #denial.
Wait,
you were utterly in denial for months about this relationship, and all of us called you out. Even AJ19 called you out.
Yep.
And we all knew that you were in love with Chewbacca, and you didn't want to say anything because you were actually afraid, and you kept being derogatory because you just wanted to get out of it.
What, in retrospect, what I was afraid of is I was afraid of the magnitude of those feelings. And I was afraid of her rejecting me or of getting hurt.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it for true love. You put your heart out in your hands and you say, I'm giving you my heart. And if you break it, that's fine. Because I would rather have this moment of love and vulnerability with you than risk being alone. And we on Risa, that love bloomed. And we are an item now. And I gave her my lapel pin. That's like some kind of courtship thing. And anyway, so when you texted me, we were on our first date, and then it was going well, and we got a bottle of wine, and then I was like, Nick can handle himself. He's probably fine by himself. Let's just let's go on a nice walk through the beach, and we did, and it was just magical.
And all that would have helped in this situation is just like, hey, you know what? Actually, a little busy.
Well. See,
that's all I needed. Just a quick text.
Right. Well, I wasn't for the record. I wasn't being duplicitous. So I hadn't planned on any of this. Like what I had planned on doing was just hopping from hot bunk to hot bunk, pretty much 2 or 3 times a day until someone forced me to leave the planet. And I'd been doing that.
Yeah.
The amount of Gatorade I went through the first half of Risa was just it was really, impressive if anything else.
I just remember getting off the ship. You saw the women and you go, "No need for Tinder here." And I was like, all right, we get it.
That is literally the first thing I said as we exited the spaceport. We just looked, yep, no need for Tinder. And then I turned off my phone and went and got a 6-pack of Gatorade. Yep, I canceled the show. Couldn't dedicate any valuable time to comedy and career exploits where there was just, horny purge of the streets and nude volleyball competitions. It was great.
That's the other thing. You canceled the show. You didn't even tell me, and I showed up, and there was no show.
Right. Well, yeah, I
showed up with my revolutionary group.
Because
I was going to take over the show, and then there was no show to take over.
Did you guys do like an improv set or anything? Was anybody in there funny too?
No, there was nobody even there. We were real 0 for 2, and then we got arrested again.
Okay, well, okay, that is my bad. I'm sorry about that.
They have gathering laws. They have gathering laws in Risa.
The thing I learned though is when you're having just that much sex with strangers on a pleasure planet, eventually the novelty kind of wears off and you're like, this is fun. This is fun. And
yeah, but I'm getting a rash.
Yeah, there were some health issues involved. Certainly good cardio, but yes, there were probably some risks too.
You're a pretty spry guy, but I imagine after a while.
Oh yeah, no. Yes, I was starting to hit the wall. In terms of my stud horse abilities there, that's true. But the thing that I realized though was that all of that sex was meaningless because I didn't have an emotional connection with any of them. I didn't have a rapport with them as people. It was just hollow orgasms. It wasn't the combining of heart and spirit. And I was telling this to Chewbacca. I was like, I don't understand why I'm not so happy right now. I just feel empty. And we started talking and we hit it off. And that's why I got distracted and I didn't give you the particle gun drill. And then you got arrested for trying to foment a revolution and bring down the weather grid of the planet.
Honestly, I was a little upset in the moment. You had to bail me out twice.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bothered, but this is something that I really did want.
Yeah, and
I knew this relationship would work. I knew that you wanted it and she wanted it, and we used to talk about you.
I figured.
Yes, you have D&D nights. But we have Monopoly nights.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, and I didn't tell you about them on purpose.
I would be angry if I weren't so elated and full of sex hormones.
Exactly. That's why I told you now.
Right. Good call.
Post Risa.
Yeah.
So basically, we would talk about it, and everybody's like, I don't remember the first person that brought it up. It might have been Dr. Longara, but it was basically like Junior. But it was basically like, that Heaton's pretty decent looking.
Uh-huh.
And we were just all kind of being like, yeah, he kind of is, nudging each other because we were looking towards Chewbacca, and she was kind of like looking down and like fiddling with her fake money and acting like she, figuring out what properties she had. But she knew. Yeah. She's a good player.
You can, they say you can't see a Wookiee blush, but you can.
Oh, God.
So two developments that before we finish up, two developments that I need to pass on to you, Nick. One, I was talking to Chewbacca about this, and she had a really good idea. I don't know if you've been keeping track, but we end up this is at least the third time one of us has had to bail the other one out of jail when we travel to different worlds. Like it happens.
I haven't kept.
It's you think about it. It's been at least 3 times in the last 6 months. So Chewbacca was saying we should just keep a bail bondsman on retainer. That would probably be worth it. And so we should look into getting that. The other thing is, it's going really well with Chewbacca, and I realize this is moving pretty fast. But she invited me to move in with her, so I'm planning to move into your place. Probably next week.
What?
Yeah. Well, okay. So
why doesn't she just move in with you?
I kind of want to maintain my place as a home office. So I just thought that this makes the most logical sense.
We don't have space. Andrew, I love you, and I'd let you stay with me always.
Love can make space. # love can make space. Somebody put that on a mug. Love creates space. There's no...
You don't do hashtags. You don't do hashtags.
For a while, I called them pound signs. It's only recently that I learned that they were hashtags at all. And I learned that from Chewbacca, my girlfriend.
If I wasn't so happy, I'd be furious.
Yep. That's, well, hey, man, I'm thrilled. And if you'll excuse me, I got to go because I've got a laser tag date with Chewbacca. And then afterwards, we're going to the Cheesecake Factory. Oh, Risa, 9.8.
4.
I'll take it. Goodbye, Nick.
Bye, Heaton.
That's the show. Thank you for listening, particularly if you're listening in the past, which is the most impressive. Thanks, Taylor Stanridge, for audio engineering. Thank you, Brian Dunning, for a great conversation. And thank you, Nick Sperdute, for letting me move into your apartment so I can be with my awesome new Wookiee girlfriend, Chewbacca. I love you, Nidnits. We'll see you next week. Until then, tally-ho!